If your heart feels heavy right now, give me just a few minutes. This might be the reminder you need today. When you're struggling today, the very first and most important thing you need to do is acknowledge your feelings and accept them without judgment. It's natural for humans to go through difficult emotions, whether it's sadness, anxiety, anger, or confusion, and recognizing that these feelings are real and valid is the foundation of healing. Often, we live in a world that tells us to stay strong, don't show weakness, or just get over it, which pushes many people to hide their emotions deep inside. But suppressing or ignoring what you truly feel does not make those feelings go away. In fact, it usually makes things worse, because unacknowledged emotions tend to build up over time and come back even stronger. Psychology teaches us that emotions are like signals from our mind and body. They alert us to what's happening inside us and in our environment. For example, if you're feeling sad or hopeless, it's your brain's way of telling you that something important is missing or hurting in your life. Anxiety and fear often signal perceived threats, whether real or imagined, prompting your body to prepare for a fight or flight response. Anger might arise when your boundaries are crossed or when you feel unfairly treated. These emotions are not weaknesses. They are messages that demand your attention. Unfortunately, many cultures and societies have conditioned people to see emotional expression as a flaw, something to be ashamed of or hidden away. But this is a harmful misconception. Research in mental health clearly shows that when you accept your emotions, when you allow yourself to feel them without shame or criticism, your brain's emotional regulation systems activate. This process is sometimes called emotional labeling, which means putting words to your feelings. When you say to yourself, "I feel sad," or "I am anxious," you activate the prefrontal cortex of your brain, which helps control the more primitive emotional centers responsible for stress and fear. This scientific understanding shows why simple acts like talking to someone you trust or journaling your thoughts can have such a profound impact on mental health. When you express your feelings openly, either by writing them down or sharing with a friend or therapist, you give yourself permission to process your pain. This expression reduces the emotional load inside you, making it easier to cope. On the other hand, keeping feelings bottled up intensifies the pressure and makes it harder to heal. One of the most powerful things you can do during hard times is to regularly check in with yourself. Ask questions like, "What am I feeling right now?" and "Why do I feel this way?" Try to answer honestly and kindly without judging yourself. This practice helps you build emotional awareness, a skill that improves your ability to manage stress and respond to challenges in healthier ways. Emotional awareness is the key to breaking the cycle of negative thoughts and feelings that often accompany struggles. It's also important to remember that your emotions do not define you. Feeling sad, anxious, or overwhelmed does not mean you are weak or broken. These feelings are part of being human. They show that you are alive and aware. You are not your emotions. Rather, you are the person who experiences them. Separating your identity from your feelings creates space for self-compassion, which is vital for healing. Many forms of therapy and psychological support begin with emotional validation, helping you understand and accept your feelings before working on solutions. Whether it's cognitive behavioral therapy, dialectical behavior therapy, or mindfulness-based approaches, the first step is always to recognize your emotions without self-criticism. This recognition opens the door for growth and change. So, if you are struggling today, give yourself permission to feel what you feel. Don't try to push it away or pretend it's not there. Instead, listen carefully to your emotions. They are telling you important things about your needs and your experience. By acknowledging your feelings, you take the first powerful step toward healing and finding peace within yourself. Building resilience is one of the most important skills you can develop when facing struggles. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from challenges, adapt to difficult situations, and keep moving forward despite setbacks. It doesn't mean that you won't feel pain or disappointment, but rather that you learn to manage those feelings in a way that allows you to recover and continue growing. Developing resilience is like training a muscle. The more you practice, the stronger it becomes. One key aspect of resilience is changing the way you think about problems and difficulties. Instead of seeing them as permanent obstacles or signs of failure, resilient people view challenges as opportunities for learning and growth. This mindset shift, often called a growth mindset, helps you stay motivated and hopeful even when times are tough. When you believe that your efforts can make a difference and that setbacks are temporary, you're more likely to keep trying and less likely to give up. Another important part of building resilience is practicing self-compassion. When you are struggling, it's easy to fall into the trap of self-criticism, telling yourself that you're not strong enough, not good enough, or that you should be handling things better. But this negative self-talk only deepens feelings of helplessness and despair. Instead, treating yourself with kindness and understanding during difficult times creates a safe emotional space for healing. Imagine how you would comfort a close friend who is hurting. Now try to offer yourself that same kindness. Building strong social connections is also crucial for resilience. Humans are social beings, and having supportive relationships provides emotional comfort, practical help, and a sense of belonging. When you feel isolated or alone in your struggles, it's harder to cope. But reaching out to friends, family, or support groups can remind you that you're not alone and that others care about your well-being. Even small acts like talking to someone who listens or spending time with people who uplift you can increase your resilience. Resilience also involves developing healthy coping strategies. Everyone faces stress, but how you respond to it makes a big difference. Coping strategies like mindfulness meditation, deep breathing exercises, physical activity, or creative outlets can reduce the intensity of negative emotions and help you regain control. Avoiding harmful habits, such as excessive alcohol use, withdrawal, or denial is important because these might provide temporary relief but worsen problems in the long run. Instead, find constructive ways to manage stress that support your mental and physical health. It's important to remember that resilience doesn't mean you have to handle everything on your own. Seeking professional help from counselors, therapists, or coaches is a sign of strength, not weakness. Mental health professionals can offer guidance, tools, and perspectives that you might not discover on your own. Therapy can teach you skills to manage emotions, reframe negative thoughts, and set healthy boundaries, all of which build resilience over time.
Sometimes, resilience comes from finding meaning in your struggles. When life feels overwhelming, reflecting on what matters most to you, your values, goals, or purpose, can provide motivation to keep going. This sense of meaning acts as a compass, helping you navigate through pain and uncertainty. Many people find that their hardest experiences lead to personal growth and greater self-awareness, even if it's hard to see in the moment. Resilience is not just about surviving. It's about emerging from difficulties stronger, wiser, and more connected to yourself. Remember, resilience is not a fixed trait that some people are born with and others are not. It is a set of skills and attitudes that anyone can develop. Every small step you take to care for yourself, challenge negative thinking, seek support, and find purpose builds your resilience. The process may be slow and require patience, but with time, you will notice your capacity to handle difficulties improving. So, if you're struggling today, know that resilience is within your reach. It's not about never falling down, but about learning how to stand back up again and keep moving forward. By adopting a growth mindset, practicing self-compassion, connecting with others, using healthy coping strategies, and seeking meaning, you can strengthen your ability to overcome challenges and create a more hopeful future for yourself. It is essential to understand that seeking help is a sign of strength, not weakness, especially when you are struggling. Many people hesitate to reach out for support because they fear judgment, believe they should handle problems on their own, or worry that asking for help makes them appear vulnerable. However, psychological research and clinical experience show that connecting with others and receiving support is one of the most effective ways to navigate difficult times. Human beings are inherently social creatures, and sharing your struggles can lighten the emotional burden, provide new perspectives, and create opportunities for healing. When you ask for help, you open the door to valuable resources, whether from friends, family, mental health professionals, or community groups. Support systems offer not only emotional comfort, but practical advice and guidance, which can be crucial in times of crisis. Even small conversations can make a big difference, allowing you to feel heard and understood rather than isolated in your pain. The simple act of talking about what you are experiencing can bring relief and reduce feelings of loneliness. Moreover, Professional help, such as counseling or therapy, provides structured support designed to help you cope effectively. Therapists are trained to listen without judgment, help you identify patterns that may be contributing to your struggles, and teach coping skills tailored to your needs. Therapy is not just for people with severe mental illness. It is a powerful tool for anyone facing stress, anxiety, depression, or life transitions. Early intervention through professional help can prevent problems from worsening and speed up recovery. It is also important to know that different types of support work for different people, so you can find what fits best for you. Some might benefit from one-on-one therapy, while others find group therapy, support groups, or peer counseling helpful. Online communities and helplines can also provide accessible support, especially for those who feel uncomfortable seeking help in person. The key is to take that first step and reach out in any way that feels safe and comfortable. Seeking help can also mean setting boundaries in your relationships and environment. Sometimes, struggles worsen because of toxic relationships, stressful work conditions, or other external pressures. Learning to say no, asking for space, or limiting contact with harmful influences is a form of self-care and help-seeking. It protects your mental health and allows you to focus on recovery and growth. Boundaries are essential tools for maintaining your emotional well-being and creating a positive environment where healing can occur. Another important aspect of seeking help is building a support network before times of crisis. Resilience is stronger when you have trusted people to turn to regularly, not just when problems arise. Cultivating healthy relationships, communicating openly, and investing in social connections create a foundation of support that can sustain you through future struggles. The sense of belonging and connection derived from meaningful relationships promotes mental health and protects against feelings of isolation and despair. Culturally, there may be stigma around mental health and asking for help, which can discourage people from seeking the support they need. Overcoming this stigma starts with education and changing the way we talk about mental health. When you choose to seek help, you are also contributing to a broader culture shift, encouraging others to do the same and normalizing mental health care as part of overall well-being. Ultimately, seeking help is an act of courage and self-respect. It shows that you value your well-being enough to take steps toward healing and growth. It acknowledges that while you may face struggles, you do not have to face them alone. Support is available, and reaching out can be the turning point that changes the course of your journey toward peace and recovery. So, if you're struggling today, remember that asking for help is not a weakness, but a powerful step towards strength and healing. You deserve support, and by reaching out, you create opportunities to connect, learn, and grow. No matter how hard things seem, help is within reach, and you are never truly alone in your struggle. In conclusion, struggling is a natural part of life that everyone experiences at some point, but it doesn't define who you are or your future. By understanding that your feelings are valid and temporary, building resilience through mindset shifts and healthy habits, and embracing the courage to seek help when needed, you equip yourself with powerful tools to overcome even the toughest challenges. Remember, growth often arises from difficulty, and each step you take toward healing brings you closer to a stronger, wiser version of yourself. So, if you're struggling today, hold on to hope, be kind to yourself, reach out for support, and trust that better days are ahead. Your journey matters, and you are never alone.